Welcome back to the Niagara Learning Channel. To follow on with this, we need to, with the video 153, which was the Analytic Service setting up. The next thing for analytics that you've got to do, whether you like it or not, is tags. And you've got to set up tags. Now, I suggest we use haystacks. So first of all, let's just start by adding tags into our services. So we've got in our services, we have got here tag service, here we go, tag dictionary service, and you've got the Niagara tag normally. Because we added in analytics in our services, we've actually got analytic tags now. Namespace is A for that, the namespace for that would be N for Niagara, and we want to put haystacks in. So let's go to your normal palette, haystacks, and let's drag that haystacks 4 across into our tag service, and there's you got your namespace H4. Normally it begins with HS, so I presume haystack 3 would be HS, I don't know, but anyway, that's our tag service there. Now haystack comes with a lot of tag rules anyway and definitions, and you can see the rules here. Now I don't know what that's going to come up with. If I basically go back into our analytic folder, views wiresheet, and I make a new numeric writable, and I call it building return heating, and we've got temp already for the scheduler, so I'm going to put an underscore temp because you can't have the exact words. It would put a 1 at the end if you had the exact words. Now at the moment, this, if I right click this and go into edit tags, we won't have any tags. Now you can add your own in. Now this is the Niagara one, and as you can see there's not that many tags in there for Niagara, the city, country, state, so you can always have that in your system if you wanted to, but that's mainly used for sites that's got various places around the world or the UK. Analytics doesn't really have anything, but if we go to haystacks, this is where we've got a lot of, well, 1,566 objects. We're not going to go through each object. I know that this is return, it's a building and heating and temp, so it's probably boiler there. Let me cancel that and let me just put in boiler instead of building. Let me change that to boiler. So boiler, this is, we made the histories in the last one, building, return, heating, temperature. So boiler, return, heating, and I can take out that underscore now because it's different wording to building. Boiler, return, heating, temperature. Now we can manually put these in. If we go to edit tags, I could do sensor, so SE. There we go, there's a sensor, so we've added that tag. Temp, so it's temperature, so we've added that tag. And then it's return, we've got return there, so we've added that tag. And we could put boiler, so B, not biomass, boiler. So those are all the tags there for that sensor. Sensor, temp, return, boiler. Save that. And then if we had another tag, let's not duplicate that, let's just make another one. And we'll do boiler, flow, heating, temp. So there's our other sensor basically, or what would be our other sensor, one on the flow. So let's again right click this, actions, not actions, edit tags, And we've got boiler, so let's bring down the boiler again. Double click it. Temp, temperature, flow, boiler, temp, flow. What did we do for the other one? Forgot now. We got something for heating, heat. We could use that, or we could use, forget that one. Let's remove that tag. Remove tag, heat, okay, and put heating tag in there. Boiler, temp, flow, heating. What else do we have in this one? Let me just view the tags again in this. Sensor, temp, return, boiler. So I've missed that. Let's add heating to this one now. Heating. Save that. So that one, I missed the sensor. So right click that. Edit tags. And we want sensor. Click up there. SE sensor. Save. So if we do a search now, and bear in mind that we are using H4 here. So if I do a quick search there and type in H4 boiler, enter, it's giving me the boiler return and the boiler flow, which rightly so, that's what we asked for. If I just do H4 flow, should only get one sensor, which is our flow there. And if I do H4 return, and there's our return. And if I just do heating, we get our two sensors back there. So basically, you need, for analytics, you need to make sure that you tag the points. There's lots and lots of videos online about tagging, for Niagara tagging. If you search YouTube for Niagara tagging, you will find lots of videos of how to do it. And the rules. I mean, you can make your own tag service. So you click tag service, click new, and I just do one there, and I put that as Max King tags, and then I use a namespace of an M. That's my Max King tags now, that I can actually do my own rules for and add things in. So where we've got tag rules here, all these tag rules here, I don't have any tag rules at the moment in there. So you can make your own, and you can do your own tag definitions. Let's, this time, instead of doing the normal direct tags, let's do the applied tags. And now we've got haystacks running. So let's go views, wire sheet, and let's just do a new numeric writable boiler, flow, heating, and then I'll do an underscore temp. Don't know where that comma came from. So this won't have any tags at all in it. Now if we go to implied tags for this, because we've got haystacks installed in the tag service here, haystacks, anything that's H4, so that's N, Niagara has said it's a marker as a point, which it is, correct. And N, Niagara station, which is the name of the station, which we called it analytic. But H4 is basically curse status, no. So this So this heating flow temp, so that's exactly what I've called it there. It's a number, so it's looked at it and said, yeah, you are a number. There's no maximum or minimum value in there at the moment. Let me just cancel that. Let me just put something like a minimum and maximum in there. So I don't expect that to go above 100, and I don't want it, 10. Save. Go back to it again. Actions, edit tags. And then the applied tags. Now it's given a maximum value and a minimum value. So it's took the point. It's saying that it's in London. Not too sure where it's got that from, but I presume it's going to be something TZ. Not sure where it's got that from, but it's got it from the station. And we've got a marker there. So boiler flow heating. So that's the implied tag that Haystacks would actually apply to that. Now, if I took that again, if I duplicated it, and this time I don't think it's going to do any changes, but let's just see. Right click, edit tags, go to implied tags. So it's a numeric writable, but that's Niagara telling you that. I don't think there's any changes from what was actually done before. Anyway, telling you it's a number. You need to do your tagging. I'm not going to go through tagging on this. There's so many things to do with tagging. But what you eventually do for going back to your analytics again, if I just minimize that and go to your Analytic Service, which is what we started on video 153. Oh, the definitions. So I put some nulls and some zeros in there, and really, in order to do this correct, I would need to put some sort of tag there. So MD missing data. I would need that as a sum. I would want that as a sum. So you wouldn't use the first. And I've got here delta values, no, raw delta filter. I would basically take that and say anything a 1 or above. So any zeros now will actually not be included in the history. And then I can tell it to ignore point or ignore series. And then I can tell it to actually use K, nearest neighbour. So when it lost it had a value before it went to 0. So say it was 10 before it went to 0, then using nearest neighbour, it would carry it on as a 10. Or I can say do a linear, and the linear gradient of 1. So what we'll do, say it's lost 15 minutes of data, and it was 10, and the next one when it got data was 15, it will do 1, 2, 3, or it will add a linear between the 10 and the 15. Yeah, it's simple stuff, but like I said, so that's not showing any zeros now in my report. But what you would do is you go to your reports and you add a new report, and then you have to basically put in the report name, your description, and then how you want your report, like low duration. Okay, so that's going to give you this type of report. There's lots to check out here and lots to do with analytics, and it's too much. It's a long video, so I'm just keeping it short at the moment, but just to say that after you've watched hashtag 153, you need to watch this one straight after it to show you that you've got to do your tagging. If you don't do your tagging, your analytics won't work. It's as simple as that. Because if you look at this report, See how this is using the tag there? That's using HS power there. So haystacks, the old haystacks power, which we've, in our version 14, 4.14, our haystacks 4 is H4. So in this case, H4, and then I wouldn't be using power. I could use whatever I've used common to my, which is heating, boiler. I can't use flow or return unless I just wanted that, but I could do heating or boiler, so I could do boiler as my tag there. And there's lots to do, lots to do. So basically, just play with it, and any questions, feel free to place a comment. But I don't do analytics that much, to be honest with you. It's better you look at other videos online. All I do is I take histories and I break down them histories, and I give my client reports on the histories that I've taken. But analytics uses tags. So tags is a big part of this. You've got to get your tags right. You don't get your tags right, your analytics is not going to be right. So learn about tagging, and then you can do lots and lots of reports. All right, thank you for watching.